Good morning, Robert Davis back here with you. This morning we're going to do a tutorial about storing your photos in a database. And this time we're going to use Microsoft SQL Server, and I use the Express Edition, which is free, along with the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. And so let's hop over into that just to see what's going on, and we'll connect to it, to the database engine. And this is all fine, so we'll connect. Double click on databases. First test is my database, and we'll go to the tables, and we've got a client table. So let's look at the design of that. And here we go. We got a client ID, which is a type of integer, not null. It is, as you see down here, it is the identity specification. Then we have first name, middle name, last name, email, phone, notes, and the different data types. And then we have a picture field, which is an image in SQL Server. You see that image right there. And it can be null. You may not have the photo, so it can be null. So let's minimize this. The nice thing is with SQL Server, it's a very high concurrency database, and you can have it the SQL Server Management Studio running with your table even open, and you're not going to get a complaint about the table's already open elsewhere. Okay, so let's go over here to RAD Studio in our Delphi project. We're going to open MS SQL tutorial with images. And here we go. You guys know very well about your setting up your radio connection. This, well, I'll show you the connection string here if I can tag that. And go to the build. And on the provider, we use Microsoft OLEDB provider for SQL Server. And then go next. And the thing I do is just copy and paste from this Server Management Studio the server name. And we're using Windows NT Integrated Security. And we're looking at first test. Test the connection. Good to go. And we'll OK that. And so we've taken the, let me see if I can get these. Yeah. We've taken the fields, the table, and here we have the fields editor. And we don't need client ID on the form, as that's maintained by Microsoft SQL Server, but we put the rest of the fields on the form. And this is basically how they lay out. And everything relies on data source 1. So we have all the fields here, and we use a DB image for the picture, a DB memo for the notes, and let me see, what else should we cover? Oh, here's the main menu. It's just real simple. It's just, you see, this just quits, closes the connection, and terminates the application. And on reports, we just have the one list with photo. And here's where you FRX report 1 show report. True. That means true means clear any previous reports. And so we can close that. Go back to the design. And the money maker's kind of in these two buttons here that control the load of the DB image. So let's look at this code. And you have the open picture dialog, dialog 1 execute. And here's the code for that. And then the button to click is to clear the DB image field. We don't need this extra space. Is to clear the DB image field and get it ready for another picture, a different picture, or what have you. Maybe you've resized or post-processed the picture and you want to put a new version in. So you just clear it and then load it. And let's see, is there anything back here that... No. So let's run this, see what we got. Okay, here's my record. And this is a picture. I call it Boy Picasso, but this is just to show you you can clear that field and then load it. And I'll go find the. Let's see, it's on my D drive, and it's on my documents, Embarcadero, projects for Isabella. Here's the photos, and we'll replace my picture. There you go, and then you see we have all our records. My lovely wife, my sister, my brother, my best friend, my sister, my brother and his family, my other brother and his family, Miss Patricia, a great friend of mine for a long, long time, 40-some years, and my friend Andrea and her daughter Chloe. And I think that's all the records we got. I'll show you this one more time. You don't have to clear it if you don't want to. I think it's just a cleaner operation. And we'll put a more recent picture of me. And then go to reports, list with photo. And there you have it. This is the concatenated name field, the email field, phone, and this is the notes field. And it can stretch and stretch and stretch however long you want it. And each one gets its own page. So, for instance, you might underneath the photo and sort down the rest of this column, you might put like vital information, birth dates, anniversaries, special dates, that kind of thing. But you got plenty of room on a report like this. Now, the picture themselves, they need to be scaled properly and cropped properly. This database is set for 264 pixels by 264 pixels square. You can see that, put that reminder here. So when you process your photos for inclusion into your database, You want to crop them square and preferably scale it to 264 by 264. And then put them in, like you see here, a photos folder underneath the application. So they'll just fit right into the database without any other messing around, and the aspect ratio will be correct, and it'll all look good. And then, of course, your report will look good. You see the measurement is up here again. And that's what we got. And speaking of got, I forgot probably one of the more critical elements of this. So let me go back over that. Let's look at we just simply drop our report, FRX report on the form, and a FRX DB dataset. Assign the dataset to the table. And double click on the report itself to bring up the designer. And here's what we've got going on. We first had to go to report data and assign, click on the data set. And that gives us these fields over here on the right available for reporting. So what I did was I dragged the last name field over to the top here. And if I double click this, you can see the concatenation going on. Has the last name, comma, first name, space, middle name. And these have to be between square brackets, and each of the fields have to be between angle brackets. And you see how that works. And just from, let's bold that field. Okay, and then we've got the email field, the phone field, and the notes field. And we keep with the width here. And but down here on the notes, what you want to do is say, on stretch mode, you want to say actual height. And that will give you it'll let it stretch however long the notes are. Here's the picture field that over here in the object inspector, we go to the data set, assign it the FRXDB data set, and want the data field of picture. And another thing we want to do is set the height and width. See here the height set to 264, that's the size of the BMPs, and the width to 264 down here. And then on the stretch mode, you want to set that to false. I think it defaults to true, but you want to set it to false. And so if we preview this, this is what we get. Just notice the bold name field. And that's how we make our money on a report for this. And you could do whatever you want. Like you could use below this, the picture, you could add like vital statistics fields, like birthday, anniversary, graduation, lots and lots of things that you can think of. And but it comes out to be a nice looking report. And the pictures all have the aspect ratio of 1:1 because they're 264 by 264. And if I didn't mention it before, they need to be a BMP. Well, you know, I'm not. Actually, I don't know for sure if they have to be a BMP. Let me stop this and I'll check it out. Okay, so I've checked it out. Excuse me. With I checked out. It'll take BMP, PNG, and JPEG, and probably TIFF and several more. Just check it out for yourself. Decide what the best format is for you and what's easiest to export from the software that you're using. And I'll show you. Let's execute this. And this is a JPEG. We'll load, and I've got a ping. And you see even the report takes it. And we'll do BMP, of course. And that's all fine. See? So that's cool. The SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server, can handle more graphic formats than the last tutorial I gave you that just allowed for only BMPs in those fields, at least to display correctly. And remember, 264 by 264, whatever you want to set it at, but make sure that you post edit the photos to be the same size as the field that you're going to store them in. And that's all you have to concern yourself with. So I hope you enjoyed this. I think I've maybe mentioned this before, but I just gotta say again that I'm really pleased with Microsoft SQL Server, the Express Edition, which is free, and the SQL Server Management Studio, which is free also. It's just so clean and intuitive, and really an incredibly good database. And it's easy to download and install for a client. If you want a good, powerful, and it's also high concurrency. You don't have to, for instance, the last tutorial I did, you have to close the database in the DB Manager, or else you can't edit it in, it'll just error out in your run times, in your design time. It'll tell you that the database is already open elsewhere. But SQL Server doesn't do that, and I think MySQL doesn't do that either. And I think that will be my next quick tutorial. So thanks for sticking with me, and if you like it, hammer on the like button. It'd be nice if you subscribed. And most importantly, hit that bell icon so you get notified as soon as I post new content on my channel. Again, I'm Robert Davis. I've enjoyed doing this for you, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thanks. Bye.